Hello. Welcome to Wiki Peer Assessment Time. This is what you'll be doing the week after the holiday break. The objective of the week of work that you'll do is to be able to assimilate and also accommodate information on a wiki page. While wikis themselves may not be around for many years, there's no question that writing with others or co-writing on a digital format is something that will be more and more important in the future. Wikis allow us to practice this skill, whether or not you will eventually be using wikis themselves in your future lives. By the end of the week, we should have one wiki that combines all of the different wikis for each myth. So for all the different periods that worked on Hercules, there should be one Hercules wiki by the end of 8th period on Friday, January 9th. Here are all the different myths of Hercules. On this homepage, there should be one wiki that combines all of those periods' work onto one page. That's the final goal, and that's where you and your group should be on Friday. Everything that you do before that will be steps to help you get there. Step number 1, day 1, Monday. You'll start by looking at the peer review questions on page 4 of our Greek mythology packet. If you don't have the packet, I've listed the questions for you here. Read over the questions first, and then what you want to do is you want to peer review your same myth in 2 other periods. So let's say you're Hercules in 7th period. You're going to peer review a Hercules page in, say, 1st or maybe 4th period. You will find the link to the different myths in the discussion part of this page. So I'm going to scroll down right now. Here are all the directions for the different days, and here are the links to all of the different myth home pages. From there, if I click on the Theseus homepage, I can find here on the right all of the different periods and their myths. So if I'm Theseus 7, I'd click on Theseus 1, read the page, and then what I'd do is I'd click Discuss, write Peer Feedback, and number the peer review questions that I'm answering 1 through 5. I want to answer all 5 in as much detail as I possibly can. Once I've peered review Peer 1, and I've clicked Submit there, or Post there at the bottom, then I might go to Theseus 8 and do the same. I can always navigate back to the home page to look at the directions if I'm confused. It says try to find those that haven't been reviewed as much. So if you're coming in later in the day and you found that the 8th period has gotten a lot of reviews from peers, then maybe review period 1. After you've peer reviewed the same myth in 2 other periods, then you want to peer review one different myth in your same period. So if you're in 7th period and your myth was Hercules, you want to do any other myth in 7th period. So you get a sense of how students are writing outside of your periods, but also within. So if I'm Hercules 7, let's say I want to read the flower myths. I go to the home page. I find flower myth 7 because those people are in my period. And then I review, numbering the questions 1 through 5. When all of that is done, I've completed the objective for the first day. On the second day, my group and I will go to our page. So again, let's say we are Hercules and we're Hercules in 7th period. We'll go to our page and we will review all of the feedback from both Ms. Kramer and our peers. You'll notice that each piece of feedback we can comment on. If I click on comment, I can say we will revise the fragments by adding an and in between pictures and starring. Now I'm not sure if that particular revision will work for that sentence. I'm just showing you an example. So I'm going to delete that. Typically I'd click post. So once we've said as a group how we're going to change based on the feedback, then we have to make sure that we actually go into our wiki, click edit, and make the changes that we proposed. So we said we'd make them in the comments, and then we go back into the wiki and we make those changes. That is day 2. Day 3 is community day, and we will have no class. Day 4, we'll be back in the library lab, so you'll see on Tuesday we're in lab 185. On Thursday we'll be back in the library lab, and that is when you will begin to think about how you could combine all of the wikis on the same myth into one perfect wiki. So we're getting close to that time that we should have on Friday, where we have all the same myths on one wiki page. I'm sorry, all the same myth in different periods, all on one wiki page. So here's how you're going to do that. Again, let's say I'm Hercules. I'll click on Hercules, and I'm Hercules. Doesn't matter if I'm Hercules 7, but let's say I am. I have to read over, which I've already done, some of the writing on the different wiki pages. And then here on the talk page, I make suggestions for accommodation. And what that means is that I make suggestions for how we could accommodate and bring together all of the different Hercules wikis to form one big one. So I might say, use paragraph 1 on Hercules 1. And I give my reasoning here. The first paragraph on the Hercules 1 page really clearly shows the main idea of Hercules and what that myth is trying to teach. Therefore, we should have that as our first paragraph. If I'm in the first period, this might be the first comment made of the day. And once I've made it, other students can comment on what I've said if they agree or disagree, or make their own discussion page. No matter what, or discussion thread. No matter what, on that talk page for your myth, you should have 5 suggestions for accommodation. It says right there. 5 discussion points that you are starting, not just agreeing or disagreeing, but 5 ideas of your own. Each group, 5 ideas for accommodation. As soon as that's complete, then Thursday is done. If you complete that early, you can go ahead and start on day 5's work. So that's when you take all the suggestions for accommodation from every period that appear on the talk page, and then you begin to use those suggestions to actually combine all the wikis. And here's what that should look like. So again, here I am, Hercules. This is a blank page that I can edit. And this is the page where I want to include the wiki of everyone. This is where I'm going to accommodate and bring together everyone's wikis. So I might go to Hercules 1 and copy the first paragraph and put it in. Whatever I do, what should happen by the end of Friday is that the completed wiki should be on the home page and not on any of these period pages that are on the right, nor on the talk page. The way that I'll assess the completed product is by what's listed down here. So it should have alternate representations from all periods, so the paintings, the videos, the poems from all periods, but no overlap. So if two different periods in Hercules chose the same YouTube video, I shouldn't see that YouTube video on the wiki twice. It should have coherent, informative writing. It should have a table of contents. It should have headings, and most importantly, and you'll see that's bolded, it should have contributions from all periods. So there should be no period who is left out of the final wiki. Everyone should be included. Once that's done, then you have completed the objective. You have assimilated and accommodated information onto a wiki page. As I said, a very important skill, whether it's on a wiki, on a Google Doc, or any other future form of co-writing that you will do in your lifetime. Thank you.